Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. First in Interest Film Room. We're here with a big fish today. We're going to be breaking down USC quarterback, Heisman winner, consensus number one first overall pick, Caleb Williams. While Williams is not a perfect prospect, he is certainly a very rare talent. We're the part of the draft process where people start to criticize for stupid reasons. I think we're seeing a lot of that with Caleb Williams. That being said, like, subscribe, comment. Let's get right into this. First play here. We're going to be watching film from 3 games today. You'll see a lot of this. Rolling out to the right, crossbody, dot on the sideline. Seems like a pretty simple 8-yard completion. You'll see the arm angle he gets off from this angle. We'll stop it right about, We rolling out, sidearm, money throw. Rare stuff from Caleb. He's a special prospect with arm angles like that. One of the underrated things about Caleb is his rushing ability, in my opinion. When he decides to take off and run, his rushing ability is up there with some of the better quarterbacks in college football. Even though he doesn't look to run, we'll see it on this play here. He really makes a couple guys miss. It's an impressive run. Right here, little shimmy, stiff arm, gets upfield, circle, gets to the sideline without being hit too. I think this is really slept on. His rushing ability, I think, will really raise his floor as he develops more as an NFL passer. Look at that right there. Should be tackled, makes a miss, stiffy. Another guy should have him down right there. Circle button. And he gets to the sideline, avoids a big hit. He's a very good runner when he decides to take off. This play really encapsulates the Jekyll and Hyde of Caleb Williams to me. A lot of the knocks you hear on him is that he's not great at getting through his progressions, which I see a lot on some of the tape we watch. We're going to go through 3 games. We're going to obviously starting with Washington. We're going to watch Notre Dame and Utah as well. But it makes sense. I understand it. There are times when he struggles through progressions, but I think a lot of that is the Lincoln Riley offense. There were a lot of half-field reads into shot plays, screens, flat passes. I don't know if that's all on Caleb. But this play, you'll see what I'm talking about. Caleb starts his reads to his left here. As he starts to feel pressure, he rolls out. I would like to see him step up in the pocket instead of roll out here, as the zig on the top of the screen breaks open pretty ass naked. But let's just watch the Caleb Williams magic. Like I said, the Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, what an unbelievable throw across his body there. This angle really shows the crazy arm angle he gets off here. Flip, turns his body like a baseball player. How many guys can make this throw from that angle? Look where it ends up. Just unbelievable stuff. This is the stuff you see all the time with Caleb. This play will show what I've been talking about a little bit with Caleb not being the best at progressions. Sometimes he'll lock his eyes onto one side of the field. And like I said, even though I do think that's part of the offense, you'll see it here. Doesn't even look to the right side of the field. Locks in on the go route completely. He loves taking the deep shot always, which is what I like about him a lot as well. No eye manipulation or movement at all, allowing the safety to come over. Chance to make a play there. You'll see that sometimes where he will lock onto one side of the field. Not really amazing at eye manipulation, but that's also not to say that he cannot go through his progressions and cannot manipulate with his eyes. He just struggles with it. He's a little inconsistent at times with it. Another play here that really shows off Caleb's rushing ability. Read option here. Great pull. Good read on the option. Up to the sideline. Gets out quick 15. He's very good at getting to the sideline, way more elusive than people give him credit for. He reminds me of Kyler Murray when he really puts his foot in the ground and turns up in the open field as a rusher. This type of stuff shows up all over Caleb's tape. He has elite pocket elusiveness. Look at that. Spin move. The ability to get a completion out of this is quite remarkable, honestly. We'll see it from the field goal post angle. Interior pressure right away. Stops on a dime. Spin move. Moves up in the pocket, throws to the flat, gets a positive play out of a play. That was an absolute shit show. This is a cool little play design here. One of the 3 good play designs in Lincoln Riley's playbook. Flea flicker. This throw shouldn't look as casual as it does. Just 35 yards on a frozen rope to Tosh Washington. Defense really bites on this flea flicker, so I mean, I could have probably been open on this play. But just quick hands, catch release. Absolute fucking laser for a touchdown. His arm talent is unbelievable. He can make every throw in the book. Just Bombs Productions isn't going to have this play on his highlight reel. Caleb should step up in the pocket here, but instead he rolls out to the right, tries to make too much happen, and the ball comes out. This is a very not great play by Caleb. You'll see here, takes the snap, drops back. Pressure comes immediately. Little gap there. He could step up and take off, but trying to break to the outside there. There's the Caleb hero ball that people like to talk about as a negative narrative. You'll see it sometimes, but like I said, it's a Jekyll and Hyde thing. Sometimes you'll be like, oh, no, 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 and then he just makes a remarkable play. It is a double-edged sword with him. This is an example of the exotic arm angles that make Caleb Williams so unique. He throws the ball like a shortstop sometimes on a baseball field, turning a double play. You'll see it better from the top angle, but he's turning his body with a defender in his face and just manipulates his arm, throwing its sidearm around the defender. This over-the-top sidearm stuff. Pretty unremarkable completion yards-wise, but impressive with the context. This is the type of play I'd like to see Caleb be more consistent with, but he flashes his ability, rolls out to the right, looks off the defense, steps up, dot. Beautiful pocket manipulation. We'll look at it more from the top angle. Takes the snap, play fake, rolls out, looks to the right, sees the pocket starting to break down, sets his feet, steps up. On the run, moving forward a little bit, absolute seed. This is beautiful stuff from Caleb. He does some remarkable stuff when he plays on schedule consistently. I'm going to start a new hashtag on Twitter. I'm going to call it #JustCalebThings. Just watch. I don't even need to talk. We see this stuff flash all the time with him. Doesn't see anything down the field. All of his receivers this year absolutely fucking sucked, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Getting something out of this, getting 15 out of this, not getting whacked is amazing. Here's some more #JustCalebThings. Free rusher coming off the edge, sidearm around him. Crazy rocket from that angle. Most guys would try and go up top over this free rusher and probably get the ball swatted back in their face. Caleb says, let me turn a double play and throw a 10-yard out route. Unbelievable. I was really pushing #JustCalebThings in this part of my notes. You'll see why on this play. Spin move around a defender. I mean, what the fuck is this? This angle is way crazier. Pretty immediate interior pressure. Spins around. Another just crazy angle, absolute missile, dime, touchdown. You don't see a lot of guys make that throw. I would argue there are maybe 5 guys in the current NFL who can make a similar play like that. Caleb will be one of them next year. We're due for a kind of bad Caleb play at this point. This is an example of him kind of locking his eyes onto one side of the field and not progressing. He stares at this go route. When the hitch at the top of the screen is pretty open, he could probably take it. Insane person throw. Very contested, not the best ball. The kind of funny part is, you'll see him lock on right there. This is a good ball. Like, his receiver could come down with this, but still not a read you really want to see him make. Not the best read there. Just because Caleb can be inconsistent in his progressions does not mean he cannot progress through reads. This is a very good example of him doing that and some good eye manipulation. He takes a snap and he'll look the defense off to the right immediately. Quick flip of the hips, dime on an out route for a touchdown. Beautiful play here. We'll see it better. Look at that. Look how quick he turns his body and then just flicks his hand and then throws an absolute fucking dime to the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. This is the last sequence of the Washington game here. This is the infamous Caleb Williams crying game. This is a throw he usually makes in his sleep and misses. Obviously not an easy throw to make. Rolling to his right across his body a little bit on the run. He usually connects on this. His body language at the end of this game was not great. Something I wanted to note. Obviously tough loss, but down 10 with 1:10 left. I don't know what the fuck this play call is. 3rd and 5 screen, down 10 with 80 seconds left. You see Caleb kind of put his head down like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? I find it hard to blame him for this loss. The defense absolutely sucked. He played out of his mind. I don't blame him for crying after this game, honestly. I would have been fucking tight, too. He played a great game. 4th down and 4 here. Another kind of rough miss by Caleb. And you can see the body language a little bit. Not too great. But he played a great game in this one. This game really showed a lot of flashes, even with some inconsistencies. This is a game I watched live and was very impressed with him on. The next game we're going to jump into is USC versus Notre Dame from this season. This is the game that every Caleb hater on TikTok reposts when they say, "This is what's going to happen when Caleb sees an NFL defense." This was an ugly game, but really spotlights a lot of deficiencies USC had as a team. That being said, Caleb had some ugly plays. This is one of them. Overthrow on the tight end seam route with a guy in his face picked off. And a pretty big return on the end of it too, just a cherry on top. This is obviously a play Caleb Williams tries to make a lot. Free rusher tries to get a crazy arm angle around him. But just not a pretty play from Caleb there. Probably should have just ate the sack realistically. Like I said earlier in the video, Jekyll and Hyde. Here's a more Caleb-esque play. Rolls out to his left, throws across his body to the other side of the field. Really only a 5-yard completion, but this is the stuff you see with Caleb. Rolling the other way, crazy arm angles, accurate ball. Most coaches would probably yell at their quarterbacks if they do this, but with Caleb Williams, you probably got to take it and just say, okay, buddy, just do it. Caleb Williams is one of the few quarterbacks in the world who could turn this play from a shit show into a 20-yard gain. Just pocket breaking down. He probably holds on a little bit too long. Everything's blanketed, though, and just takes off for a quick 15. This game, you'll really see his receivers just get not even close to being open. Shuffles back across the pocket, steps up, says, "No one's open. I'm gone." Outruns the linebacker, sideline, 15-yard run. His rushing ability honestly really impressed me throughout this process. Here's an example of Caleb progressing through his reads pretty well, actually. You'll see him look to the left pretty hard last second, turn, sets the feet, fires. A little behind him, but good ball. Receiver was pretty open there. And this is what I want to see from him more consistently. Looks off to the left, quick turn of the head, dot. I want to see him do that way more consistently. I wanted to show this because I thought it was a pretty nasty back shoulder ball. Quick set of the feet, turns. From this angle, it's way more impressive. OPI was called, so this got called back. Nothing happened, but Caleb puts it in a spot only his receiver can get it there. He makes throws like this consistently. Caleb shows his rushing upside here in a big 4th and 1, gotta have it situation. They fake the dive, and he's just outrunning defenders pretty casually. I'm curious to see what he clocks in at the combine. I wouldn't be shocked if he gets under 4.5. I think he's really uber athletic, and he makes guys miss in the open field a lot. This play looks like Lamar Jackson took over Caleb Williams' body. Gets called back with the hold there, but look at the burst in the open field, man. Just pulling away from safeties. I really want to see his rushing ability get more used at the next level, even though it does expose him to more hits. I think it could really open up an offense as he develops as a passer. I would cry after games if I had Caleb's receiver group this year. I mean, what a fucking awful drop right there. A jugs machine couldn't throw this ball better. I mean, just brutal stuff. I would argue any team who picks any of these USC receivers is lighting a pick on fire. That's disgusting. You might be saying to yourself, "Mike, I thought you said this game was ugly. He doesn't look that bad." Let's watch this play. Oh my god. That's prime Eli Manning stuff right there. Throwing into traffic in the middle of the field, 2 linebackers. I don't know what the fuck he's thinking on this, man. This is a really ugly play. The flat's open too. He could take that for a quick 3 or 4, 5, maybe some more yak. Very negative play. The old saying goes, when it rains, it pours. This game was a fucking monsoon for USC. Caleb rolls out. Great play by the DB here, but Caleb should not be throwing this ball. Another ugly interception. Corner kind of lurks under it as his receiver moves to the sideline, just sits on it, sees it the whole time. Pretty easy interception. Another very ugly interception for Caleb. This was definitely, I would argue, the worst game of his collegiate career, to be completely honest. This play didn't really catch my eye until I watched it from the up-top angle. This is a crazy throw by Caleb in terms of arm strength and arm angle. A linebacker in a D-tackle stunt, and he just squeezes it right between them. You'll see it right here. I mean, pretty fucking wonky throw right there. We all love Caleb Williams throwing piss missiles off his back foot. Here's a very nice touch throw over a linebacker to his tight end. He can make every throw in the book. He's not just a one-trick pony who's throwing it sideways off his back leg 100 miles an hour. Great ball there. Even though this game was generally ugly, there are still some vintage Caleb Williams moments. Baseball hands, great throw right on the numbers. Oh my God, these receivers are so bad. I can't believe Brendan Rice drops this. You are not Jerry's son. That's fucking disgraceful. Great ball by Caleb. That mess gets followed up by some more vintage Caleb. Let's just watch this play unfold. Ridiculous arm angle. Touchdown. Brendan Rice actually catches that one. You could argue a lot of times he holds onto the ball too long, but I think that's because his receivers just don't get fucking open. Great play there, though. Crazy arm angle. Just typical Caleb Williams stuff. Hashtag just Caleb things. Last sequence here before we dive into our last game. Caleb against Utah. I mean, this was a generally ugly game. Good throw there. But, like we said, this was definitely Caleb's worst collegiate game. Definitely showed some weaknesses. Struggled with pressure. Struggled through his progression sometimes. Made some really ugly throws. But if this is the one game of his career where he really struggled, I think it's really hard to knock him for it. The evasiveness here is wild. How is he not getting brought down? Getting back to the line there is insane. But this was not Caleb's best tape. I think we'll see a lot better stuff in the next game against Utah. But Caleb is truly a one-of-a-kind prospect. Let's dive right into it with a beautiful deep ball to Aiden's man crush, Taj Washington. Caleb's throwing motion is so fluid and casual. He barely moves any part of his body and just throws that ball fucking 60 yards on a rope. Could not throw it any better. Let's look at it here. Quick 5-step drop, flick of the wrist, not a violent throwing motion. Absolute dime. We'll follow up an absolute beauty of a rep with kind of an ugly one. Caleb throws the ball very behind his receiver there in traffic. Doesn't really set his feet that well. Just an ugly miss. Kind of a rare one from him. You'll see it here. He's on his tiptoes on his back foot. Not the greatest footwork there, and it's probably why the ball sails almost right into the defender's hand. An NFL D-back might take that to the house. Seems like the theme of this video for us is good play, bad play in this game. This throw should not look this casual. Pretty good play design there. Caleb kind of just uses his upper body and wrist to make this throw. And it's a goddamn rocket. Turns the hips, flicks it, dime. His arm talent is beyond elite. Caleb, if you're watching this, buddy, don't worry. DJ Moore will catch this next season. Pump fake, deep ball, absolute dime, but kind of a bad adjustment by the receiver there. You'll see it better from here. But like I said, DJ Moore will catch this next season for you, buddy. Pump fake, fakes out the D tackle. Money throw. Just kind of a weird adjustment by Taj Washington. He also gets grabbed by the D-back. USC would have won this game if it wasn't for their hot dog water defense. Here's a great example of Caleb's elite escapability. He's turning up, cutting all over the field, making guys miss in the pocket and in the open field. USC crawled back in this game, and we'll see in the last couple sequences they go ahead, but Caleb does play a hell of a game here. Here's some more beautiful deep ball stuff from Caleb Williams. There are throws he makes that looks like a jugs machine. This is one of them. Great play by Washington there to hold on. But just more casual. Everything he does is so fluid. Couldn't put that ball any better. Great play. We're getting close to the end here, so we'll just have some general discussion on Caleb while we watch these last few sequences. Not great blindside awareness there by him, gets sacked. But I do understand a lot of the concerns with Caleb. There are times when he's inconsistent with his progressions and will try to do too much. But at the same time, he should try to do too much because he makes miracle plays and has rare arm talent and athleticism. I think any argument against Caleb as the QB1 of this class is pointless and honestly quite stupid. He's very obviously a rare talent with rare traits. He flashes a lot of great things on schedule, off schedule, running the football, deep game, short game, screen game. He does everything well. He is not a perfect prospect by any means. No college football player is a perfect prospect. I will confidently say I would take Caleb Williams over any quarterback that's come out of college football since Andrew Luck. And I would maybe even take him over Andrew Luck. Great play here. Gotta have it. Cross angle. Caleb Williams. There's vintage Caleb Williams. That's what you're getting. If you say, hey, sometimes he tries to do too much, look at this just feel for the pocket right there. Rolls out to the left across his body. Who's doing that in the NFL today? Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. I'd say that's about it. Caleb is truly a unique, one-of-a-kind prospect, and I think the Bears will just prove their ineptitude if they decide to trade out of the pick that would select him and roll with Justin Fields. This guy doesn't come along often and can really alter the course of your franchise. You can really dream on what you can do with a player like this. That being said, thank you guys for watching. Let's watch this last go-ahead touchdown by Caleb Williams first, though. Like, subscribe, comment. We love all the support we've been getting recently. Thank you guys. Share this with people you love. We love you. And there's another installment of the First and Inches Film Room. Peace.